Hello, friends, and welcome to episode number. I have to read what number I'm at now. Episode
I understand.
number 124 of Nostalgia Talk.
124. My
Mm.
lucky number.
Is it actually? Well, the last
No,
one was
I'm making
the last one was the big
fun.
1, 2, 3. And speaking of the last one, by
Oh.
the way, I have a really exciting announcement for all of our listeners. The last episode of Nostalgia Talk broke my record for fastest audience ever, beating out my good friend Peter Linz. We got on that one 1,000 views in a week. As of this recording, it hasn't even been a week, and the count is at 2,000, I think it was.
Nice.
I want to say I'm surprised, but we all know Murray from the Wiggles. Come on, that was a
I'm
big
sure.
staple for a lot of our childhoods. I mean, that's a big name. You could probably tell how bloody nervous I was. So less of that for this one. Joining me on this installment of Nostalgia Talk, it hasn't even been a minute yet, and already I'm making myself look like a doofus. Let's give a let's give a big welcome to Erin Matthews.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's a well, over computer, but it's a
Yes.
thrill. It's a thrill to have you here.
Well, it's a thrill to be here.
I have never heard of that one before. I'm going to use that next time I have a meeting. It's a thrill to meet you.
I meet you, exactly.
I'm gonna use that. Part of that also might sound like a threat. For anybody who doesn't know, Erin is an actress. A lot of the time on this show, when it comes to actors who we've seen their faces on TV, a lot of the time you probably see them on one show and then you see them on another show and then another show. And it's like, where have I seen that person before? Erin is one of
Mhm.
those people. If you're my age, you definitely remember her as Miley and Jackson Stewart's very strict teacher, Karen Kunkle.
Mhm.
Strict and
Yes.
strict and Karen goes kind of well together now in the crazy world we've been.
That's right. She was Karen before Karen was the
I
thing.
was literally thinking that at work after because I was at work at the time that I announced on Nostalgia Talk's social media that I was going to be
Yeah,
talking to you, and I
funny.
showed my one of the actors in the show I'm doing the announcement, and she's like, "Oh my God, she was a to Miley."
Listen, she just wanted to, she was just very strict. She had her rules and by God, you better follow them.
Mm-hmm. Or the cage. Solitary for a week. She also
Mm.
appeared on KC Undercover, Liv and Maddie, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the movie Valentine's Day. I think that's what it is. And
Yep.
has also done some voice work. She did Rogue in the video game X-Men Legends and Cindy Aurum for the Final Fantasy games as well.
Yes, sir. Good
Mhm.
stuff.
So to kind of kick things off, how did you first become interested in acting in general? Like, where does that
Ooh,
come into your life?
sure. Forever. I was one of those kids, demanding that my parents watch me put on plays when I was a child. But I first really got into it when I have an older sister, and I was in grade school, and the middle school that my sister was in came and they were doing Fiddler on the Roof. And so they came and did a little snippet of that for our school. And I just thought, oh, I want to do that. And so, and then I just performed all through school. If I'm being honest, it's what kept me in school. I went to high school pretty much just to do the plays and take class.
And
And
did you have a teacher
um,
like Miss Kunkel at the time?
when I was younger, for sure I did. I remember, oh, Miss Spencer. I'm old. She's got to be dead by now. She was my math teacher in third grade, but it was elementary school. But she hated me. She was so mean. So yes, I guess I did have some
I was only joking. I
experience to
didn't.
draw. Didn't you? Didn't everybody have a mean teacher at some point?
I'd rather not say. I don't know if they're watching this.
You're young. Yours are still around. Every play that I could do and any chance I got to perform. And then I studied acting privately after high school in Portland is where I'm from. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Um, and had my first professional gig there. We did Blithe Spirit at the Sylvia's Dinner Theater
Oh,
in Portland.
nice.
That was my first real job. And then I moved to LA when I was 21.
Hmm.
And I already had some friends who had moved down here from Portland, so I had a nice little community, but it was really scary and hard and but I hung in there and, kept keeping on.
So do you remember your first like on-screen role? Like did you do like bit parts on TV shows or commercials?
Yes. I remember very distinctly the job that got me my SAG card, which was big deal at the time. There was a well, I did like local commercials and print jobs and things in Portland. Um and I also grew up, my dad was an anchor man. My dad
Oh,
was
that's cool.
on the TV news. And so often, he would pull in me and my sister when he was doing a story on like some special personal interest stuff or whatever. And so I had been on TV, you know what I mean, and grew up watching my dad on TV. And so I don't really remember kind of that first moment of seeing myself on screen, but my first ever SAG job was an HBO movie called Weapons of Mass Distraction, um, which, oh God, when was this? Probably 90, it was in the late 1900s. And, uh, it was a great cast. It was Ben Kingsley and uh, I forget everyone's name, Gabriel Byrne and Mimi Rogers and Ileana Douglas and Larry Gelbart
Already
wrote
working
it.
with the big stars. Wow.
Yeah, and I was supposed to have this um, smaller role, and the casting director asked me to come to a table read because they wanted to hear the script. And so they hadn't cast one. So I read a bunch of the smaller roles at the table read, and they really liked my reading for this larger role as an anchor person, oddly enough. And so they ended up bumping me up to that part, and that's how I got in the union.
You learn from the best, I guess.
Well, yeah, that was really cool. That was not a bad way to start.
Hmm. So, of course, a lot of us recognize you as Miss Kunkle. How did you get that role?
Well, I auditioned. This is back when we used to go in and audition in person. We rarely get to do that anymore, unfortunately. But
The
so I
times
went
have
in.
really changed.
That's really
It's
changed.
funny, I saw a reel on Instagram Friday, March 13th, 2020, COVID pandemic. This year, Friday, March 13th, 2026. What's changed? Has it like do we
Yeah.
still feel the same? Will this be the end
Wow.
of
Oh yeah.
feeling boring? Like
No, I know. Well, I mean, in one way, it's great. It's brought us a lot more of this, right?
true, yeah.
Being
This
able to just jump on Zoom and do these and have meetings and be really effective and global and all those wonderful things. And when it comes to acting, there are upsides to being able to film your own auditions. You get to
yeah,
decide which
true.
take you like, but it also is a lot harder in a lot of ways because you don't get to interact with the casting director. You don't get to get feedback immediately about what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. Try this. You just are kind of guessing. And
Any
so,
feedback, they just text you, okay, maybe next time do this. Well, I don't know, because I'm not gonna because you basically tell me whether or not I get the part.
right, right. It's too late now, but thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so I went in to read for Carol Goldwasser and Howie Meltzer were the casting directors, and they were fantastic. And Carol died a couple years ago, but she was fantastic, and they cast a ton of stuff for Disney Channel. Um, so I went in and read for them, and they thought I was funny, and I remember very distinctly in the waiting room making a kind of semi off-color joke, and all the women in the room looked at me like I was. But I thought, well, I guess I'm not going to get this one, but turns out. Um,
And was
so
it was the audition for that character or was it just an
yes,
audition in general?
it was no, it was for that character. It was for that first episode I was on, which was the one where I go on the date with Billy Ray and we get in a big fight. It's the one
Over
where
Tarragon.
yes, the Tarragon fight. So that was a really fun audition because I got to go in, with my hair up and do the mean stuff, and then go into the sequence where we're going surfing, and Jackson's little dream sequence where he
Yep.
sees us on the yeah.
I've been watching a
So
lot of Hannah Montana lately, not just getting ready for this, but actually what prompted me to want to reach out to you was I have coming out or out when this will be out, the thing I'm talking about is going to be out. I made a retrospective, my favorite Hannah Montana episodes for the 20th anniversary. And
fun.
quite a lot of those, our listeners know that because by the time this is out, they'll have seen it. Quite a few of those episodes included Miss Kunkle.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. So yeah, it was that episode. And then I found out later, um, the director of that episode is a woman named Sharon Flynn, who's fantastic.
Yep.
And it was her first episode that she directed. Before that, she was, I think, first AD. Um, and there was a theater company called the Troubadour Theater Company that I worked with here in LA a lot. And she knew she was a fan of the theater company, and she said to the producers and everyone, she's like, I know this person is going to know comedy. She's going to roll with the punches. She's going to be able to, because we do a lot of improv and stuff. And so that really sealed the deal for her. She liked my read. And then she also saw that theater company, and she said, that's our gal.
Nice. So, was Miss Kunkel meant to be just a one-time character? Like,
That's a great question. At the time, it was the first season. I don't think it was even on the air yet when I
oh
auditioned, and
wow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I showed up, and when a show is new like that, everybody's all excited. And of course, it's unique because you have father and daughter working on the same show, and um,
Which would rarely
the
ever happen now.
well, I mean, depending on who the father and daughter, like, she wasn't famous yet, right? So it
True.
was it was almost more like his show, or his name was going to be the big name on the show.
Hmm.
And it's kind of funny to see, how that went. But the reason they had that particular episode was because I'm sure you already know this, but when you're filming with minors, there are union rules that they can only work for so many hours in a row, and they have to go to school, and it's very strict about how
Oh
much
yeah.
time
The last
they
movie I
can
worked
work.
on, it was all child cast, so.
Yeah, it's hard. It's I mean, it's great. It's necessary, but um so they were trying, and Jackson at the time was over 18. So I don't know if you know about, but so they were trying to create storylines that would use the adult cast so that when the kids were on break, we could be filming this B story. So that was why this particular story came in. And then I like to think they just liked me so much that
Or
that
Shannon
Miss
Flynn liked you
Kunkel
so
just
much.
yeah, maybe it's Sharon. Either way, I'm okay with that. Um, but anyway, it was great fun. I remember distinctly walking in and uh meeting Billy Ray, whose hair was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. His hair was like every shade of auburn that you can imagine. That's I remember that, and Miley, who I think was like 14 at the time, ran up and threw her arms around me and welcome, and was so
Wow.
so sweet. And yeah, it was really a blast. It was really a lot of fun.
What was she like to work with, like on camera?
Miley,
Yeah.
she was great. I What was interesting was um watching her evolve. I was in 5 episodes over, I think it was 6 seasons. How long was it on?
Four. Four seasons.
Four. Okay, so 5 episodes over 4 seasons. And so, watching her kind of grow up and get better at everything was just really, really cool to see. But she was great. She like always knew her lines, very well prepared. And it's a stressful job when you've got these, especially, you're filming live in front of an audience, and you got the director and the producers running over between takes and saying, okay, try it, with this joke instead, or giving your notes on the fly. It's a lot of pressure for someone her age, and she was great. She just always professional and fun, and yeah, she was awesome.
Hmm. The first episode in that retrospective that I made was actually the one where Miley's so guilty that she starts sleepwalking, which affects her in class when Lily's trying to get up. It's like, Miley, come on, wake up. And Kunkle immediately is like, who's talking? And Miley just can't help it because she's passed out. She's like, you are Skunkle, that awful prison
Skunkle.
warden voice of yours.
Man. And that was the man hands one too, right?
Yes.
By the way, totally feminine hands. Let's make that clear. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was definitely a fun one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, not really a question, but more of a comment talking about all these classic Hannah Montana moments. And this one was also included in the retrospective. I even asked some of my friends, "Hey, what are some of your favorites?" Because we're of the Hannah Montana generation. I just turned
Yeah.
27 last week, so we're.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh my God, that means I was 7 when Hannah Montana aired for the first time.
Oh,
Which means I would have just turned 7 when Hannah Montana aired for the
you were
first time.
half Miley's age at the time.
Don't make me feel old. Usually I make the guests feel old. This is their revenge.
Yeah, I'm like
Um,
20 years. Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's so crazy.
Somehow I look exactly the same though, right?
I would agree
Right?
with that. I'll agree with that.
Uh, I'm like, right? Karen Kunkel will put you in a cage if you don't say she looks the same. So,
I've never had detention, so that'll be a first for me, and I'm in my 20s. So
oh yeah. All right, we'll let it go.
yeah. But one of the favorites among my friends, and like when I announced this on Nostalgia Talk's social media, the comment section was flooded with comments from my friends about this one particular episode, the bone dance.
I knew it. I knew it. Oh, the bone dance. You dance and you learn it. Again and again till you get
Get
it
it
right.
right.
I know that song not because I watched the episode over and over again, but because they had to do that dance.
Like in multiple
It,
takes.
oh yeah. Yes. It took a while for everybody to get the hang of it. I'm not gonna name names, but there are certain members of the cast who are not born dancers, let's say.
That's fair.
They're they're actors who have been called upon to learn choreography, and it took a while to get it shot. But yeah, that was a fun.
When
Yeah.
I was in, I think it was grade 5, we did a whole unit on the human body. And we did a whole thing
Did
on
you use the song?
well, we did a whole thing on systems like circulatory, respiratory, skeletal. My sister was the major Hannah Montana fan in the house
Okay,
back when
sure.
it was new. Now I love watching it. I do actually like. She had all the CDs, she had all the toys, everything. I
Is
have some.
she older or younger than you?
She's 2 years younger than I am,
Okay,
and
that's
now I
cute.
have some of the music in my phone. Not every album, but like if there's a song I want to listen to that's a Hannah song that I remember from back in the day, I'm like, oh yeah, this brings back
Oh,
nice memories, and I'll just listen to it on
cute.
walks. Um,
Oh,
and for the I do remember one group actually not doing the dance, but they sang the song, the Bone Dance, as part of their presentation on the human body.
oh,
Must
fun at your
it,
school?
yeah, it must have been the skeletal system. I don't even think I
It
saw
must
the
have been.
episode, but I remember
Yeah,
thinking, why does this sound like a Hannah Montana song?
yes, it is.
Yeah. Um, what was it like working with Emily Osment? I mean,
Oh,
she now has gotten some newfound fame on that Young Sheldon spin-off show.
right, right. She was wonderful. I really loved Emily. Yeah, she was just so sweet. And Haley, Joel Osment would come around sometimes. He would be on set from time to time. Her brother.
Yep.
And yeah, she was just great. I just remember very distinctly in the last episode I did was the final season. And by then Miley was kind of separated from the cast, not like
Yeah,
intentional, but she was like,
we were talking at work at the time I was preparing for the retrospective, and somebody pointed out, man, she worked so hard to get rid of that image of Hannah Montana.
yeah, yeah. Well, it just kind of by that time, she was so famous as a singer and kind of doing her own thing that that season she brought in her own hair and makeup people and she's still lovely to work with. She just kind of was already off on her own path a little bit. So then I got to spend more time with the rest of the cast because she and Emily were like besties on set, and then she was kind of off doing her own thing. uh so Emily and I got to hang out a little bit more, and she was so cool. She was just really excited to go to Occidental for college and just kind of see what was next. It was, yeah, she was really just really smart girl,
Mm. I think
and
that
yeah,
same
very good
year,
girl.
grade five, Emily Osment did a summer festival here. She performed at a summer festival here.
Did she?
Um, because well, the way I'm remembering it is that we had just come back from summer break, and our teacher kind of asked us what summer fun is for us. And one student who's still one of my best friends to this day, and if she's listening, she probably won't remember this, but she shot up her hand and she said going to see Emily Osment in concert. And her teacher was like, Emily who now? Emily Osmond? What? What?
Come on.
And she wrote that on the board. She's like, could you spell that for me?
Oh, teachers, man. Was she
Uh,
a Kunkle? Was that a Kunkle?
Actually, I still talk to her. She's one of my favorite teachers I've ever had.
Okay, so not a Kunkle.
Not at all. Not at all. But talking about that final season and also going back to the topic of that retrospective, that's probably going to come up a lot because now everybody's probably seen it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're recording this on Sunday. I know that our listeners are probably listening to this the Thursday that it comes out because we all know that's when I do this Throwback Thursday. I'm putting out the retrospective on the actual anniversary of Hannah Montana, which is this coming Tuesday.
Oh,
Um,
that's fun.
one of the episodes I included was that one where you appeared for the last time. It's like Miley finally a senior Stewart. Karen couldn't care less Kunkle. One of the most significant moments of that episode, I think, is having the late great Ray Liotta as a guest.
Yeah. From what I understand, I didn't get to work with him. I didn't
Okay,
get to meet him, unfortunately. But from what I understand, his daughter was a huge fan and really wanted him to be on the show.
they
And that's,
incorporated that in the episode too.
did they? Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. Yeah. So it was wild at the time. It was the hottest ticket in town. Like everyone in it, and people don't go to tapings in LA. It's so boring. Nobody ever wants to do it. But Hannah Montana was so popular with kids that all these famous people, their kids were like, please, can we go? And so we would have the live studio audience would be all of these famous actors like you would recognize and their kids that made them bring them. And like when I would be on, you're guaranteed like one or two seats or something. And the second I would tell anyone I was going to be on, they would be like, oh my God, can you get me in? My kid's been bothering me forever to go see a taping. So it was really very special and unique in that way. There's something really incredible about doing TV for kids. They're the
Hmm.
best fans in imaginable. They don't hold anything back. They're just straight. You can be at nobody. Kids don't have that like, oh, I want to say something, but I'm not going to because it's, I'm embarrassed or I want to be cool. Kids have no cool. They're just like, oh my God, you're on that show. It's the
Yeah, I
best.
remember going to the D23 Expo in 2015, and a lot of the Disney Channel shows that were on at that time. I was 16. I was of a different generation. Like it was past
Mhm.
Sweet Life, Raven, Hannah, Wizards, but
Yeah.
they had, and I was still watching the shows. I thought they were funny. I didn't do it. Liv and Maddie, which I mentioned in the intro, you had a guest appearance on.
Hmm.
What else? Dog with a Blog,
Hmm.
Austin and Ally. And I actually would see the cast at like photo ops, but I could never get in them. I
Why
did
not?
manage to get a wave from Olivia Holt, who was on I Didn't Do It, so
All
that was
right.
pretty sweet. I was like, yeah. She probably has no idea who the hell I am now, but
Well, but that's
um but talking about all these other Disney Channel shows from later on, KC Undercover, which
yeah.
starred another person who's really at the top of her game now, Zendaya.
Oh, you've heard of her? Yeah.
I
That
also was
was
a big Shake It Up watcher too.
Oh yeah. Um yeah, that was a trip. I mean, I at the time, she was just this lovely young actress and um she it was a fun show. It was a very fun episode that I got to do where I was this again a terrible person.
Oh
Um
yeah, I've seen it.
did you see the episode? Yeah.
Yep.
Just I was just born to play villains. So um
Typecast.
typecast, what a jerk. Uh so yeah, I did the show and I just remember thinking, wow, this young lady, first of all, was stunning. I mean, she was taller than I am and already, and I think she was probably 16 or so
I
when
have
we
no
did that.
idea.
But she was definitely underage because they would have to go, the kids would have to go to school and we'd all wait. Um, but she was very self-possessed. She was very in charge of the show
Hmm.
in a way you would not expect of someone that age. It was very like, and not in a bad, not in a bad way at all. I was just really impressed that she knew how she wanted things to go, and if they were shooting a scene and she didn't think it was right, she would speak up and say, "Well, what if we did this? Or wouldn't it be better if we tried that?" I was just really impressed by that. That was what I remember most about working with Zendaya. And my husband always laughs like whenever we see her on the big screen, he's like, "Remember you were wrestling with her in a hot air balloon?" Yeah, I sure do.
It's funny because one of my previous guests, I've had a lot of occasional recurring Disney Channel actors on here. Like if you've ever seen Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the
Of
sarcastic
course.
Mater D, Patrick Bristow was
Uh-huh.
that was a very, very early one.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like I think that was when I was still in the single digits of episodes, and that's when a lot of my friends, because most of the guests I'd had, my friends were like, "Who are these people?" They were all like voice actors and people at Muppets, and I still get a lot of those ones too. But then finally, somebody they all recognize comes on, and everyone's like, "How did you get that guy?" So that was one that really helped my friends see, okay, James is really doing something really, really cool.
Nice.
But one of my previous guests was Brandon Johnson, who was on Hannah Montana a couple of times as kind of like he was in that episode where Jake admits that he loves Miley on camera.
Hmm.
He was the one who he admitted it to.
Okay.
He was the reporter, and then he does a TV host on Shake It Up with Zendaya.
Oh, funny.
So
He's
that,
just born to be a fake TV host.
in the words of Hannah Montana, it's the best of both worlds.
It is.
Speaking of, are you going to watch the 20th anniversary special?
Maybe. Sure.
I
I
am.
don't know. It's yes. I'm glad you are. They're gonna have plenty of viewers, I'm sure. I'll probably check it out at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Is it on?
It's going to be on Disney Plus.
Okay, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Okay. One of my
I wonder
friends
if I'm
is
in it. Do you think I no?
maybe in
It's
clips. I
probably
don't
just
I don't really know how it's going to happen. I understand it's kind of like an interview with Miley,
yeah. I think it's probably gonna be more just her.
but I did see a video on Variety of her with the Hannah Montana wig going over Hannah Montana lyrics. So maybe she'll still have the Hannah wig on. It's in the promo poster.
I don't know. I think it's really sweet they're doing it though. That's so fun.
My friend Megan told me that she's going to be making all of the snacks like cheese jerky.
Ah.
Say what? Say what?
That's fun.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think what the equivalent kids show would have been when I was growing. It's not even the same. We didn't have anything that was like that, I don't think. That was
Well,
such a huge phenomenon, you know what I mean?
yeah, well, when you said that, I started thinking of again with the Disney Channel shows in the 2010s that were around when I was a teenager. The one that I'm thinking of is I mean, Liv and Maddie launched Dove Cameron, and she's a
Hmm.
big superstar. I mentioned Olivia Holt, and I mean, she's been on screen, and she's put out albums. I think I have one of them on my phone actually. Girl
Nice.
Meets World launched the career of
Hmm.
Sabrina Carpenter. Look at her.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Yeah, like she's the 2010s Disney Channel generation of Miley Cyrus, basically.
Yeah, for sure. That's so cool.
Hmm. But speaking of Liv and Maddie, what was it like working with Dove Cameron? Because I have seen all episodes of that show. I'm just trying to put in my brain which one you were in.
Oh, and of Liv and Maddie?
Yeah,
It was the episode that Kristen Bell was on
I
where she was
remember
talking
Kristen
about,
Bell being on it. Yes.
yeah. So I was one of the, Entertainment Tonight kind of
Okay,
people
this is
asking. It's like,
okay.
yeah.
Now this is familiar, and I feel like I probably watched that and probably was like, where have I seen that person before?
Yeah.
My laptop screen.
Well, I already knew Dove um
Oh,
because this is complicated. All right, so we're gonna even go way back in the Wayback Machine.
go
You
ahead.
ready?
I mean, it's called
Okay.
nostalgia talk. Go right ahead.
So we're gonna do a little math here. So Andy Fickman is the director of Liv and Maddie.
Yep.
Uh Back in 1999, he cast me in a musical called Reefer Madness, which we did here in LA for like a year and a half. And then we went and did it in New York, and Kristen Bell joined the cast. This was before she was still at NYU. She was like a student. So K Bell was not yet a star. Um, and so we did that show together. Many years later, Andy Fickman directed a musical called Heathers, which is still running. I don't know
Mhm.
if you know Heathers the musical. Um, and oh God, my now husband was in that show, and that's how we met. We were doing a reading of a screenplay for Andy, and we met through that. And he was doing Heathers. He was just about to go to New York to go do Heathers with everybody, including Ryan McCartan, who was also on Liv and Maddie and
Diggy.
ended up engaged, yes, to Dove. So I knew Ryan before, I think before he met, or was he already doing anyway? But I remember the night they got engaged. John texted me, so I already knew Dove. So it was a really fun set because I knew Andy and I knew K Bell and I knew Dove, and so it was just like a party. It was, and Ryan obviously. And so I don't think Ryan was, he wasn't in that scene. He was probably on that episode. But also Jay Rodriguez, who played the other correspondent guy, I knew him. So it was just a blast. It was a great time.
And for any of our listeners who doesn't know, by the way, Andy Fickman also is the director of Disney's The Game Plan, the movie She's the Man, and what was the other one I was thinking of? There was he directed a movie called You Again, and he directed Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Yes, very good. You know your Fickman filmology.
The Game Plan was a big staple in our house.
Yeah, you like that one, huh?
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Hannah Montana actually makes a little cameo in it,
That's a shame.
as does The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. There's a scene where The Rock's character, he's watching basketball with his buddies while he's still got Peyton, the kid,
Hmm.
and she changes the channel on them, and then they're trying to get it back, and then you see Disney Channel up next, Hannah Montana, and then the song, you get the bed. They're like,
Oh, cute.
on.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. And
So
talking
yeah, that
about
was a great time.
Yeah, and talking about movies, I mentioned in the intro Valentine's Day, which was directed by the legendary, I almost said Fickman, Gary Marshall.
Yes, Gary. Yeah, that was really something. I did. Oh, I mentioned that theater company to you a while ago.
Yep.
We did a lot of shows at the Falcon Theater, which is now called the Gary Marshall Theater, which was Gary's theater. And so I had, worked for him essentially. And Gary was really great about including what they referred to as FOGs, Friends of Gary, in casting. And so yeah, so he had asked me to play this flight attendant role, and um, yeah, it was great fun. I spending a day on the plane with uh, Bradley and Julia and scores of extras. It's cool. It's fun because it every year around Valentine's Day, which happens to be around my birthday.
Oh, I
People
wish I knew
go, "I
that.
saw you."
So your
February
birthday
6th
is shortly
next year.
before mine.
Yes. I have a couple years on you, but um so yeah, it's fun. Every year, somebody will text and go, "Oh my gosh, I turned on the TV there you were." This is fun, but I mean it's just like scads of celebrities in that movie. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's funny you
Have you seen it?
mentioned Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I don't think I have, but I remember when it came out.
All right. I'll let it go this time. Next Valentine's Day for my birthday, you have to watch it.
Considering I no longer hate Valentine's Day, sure.
Okay.
I used to hate Valentine's Day by the time I became an
A,
adult.
a lot of people in the movie hate Valentine's Day, so you might like
All right, well,
it.
I mean, I did kind of get over that a little bit when they had a screening at the Alderney Theater in Dartmouth for Valentine's Day of one of my very, very favorite movies, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Nice.
One of my friends texted me and was like, "Are you going to this?" I was like, "I got a VCR TV in my room and I have it on a VHS tape. Of course I'm going." It was worth it. It was a lot of fun. They really really went all out
Yeah.
for making it a 90s night. Like they had trailers before it for like Space Jam, Good Burger, Angels in the Outfield.
Fun.
I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
this is yeah." I was born 99, so
yeah, nostalgia heaven.
yeah, I think I was actually born basically the week that 10 Things I Hate About You came out.
Yeah.
And I told
You were
one
a
of my
little young for it
yeah,
then.
I told one of my friends who was at the screening who saw it in college, and I said, "Yeah, I was born basically the week it came out." I worked with her. She's like, "Even when we're not at work, you have to make me feel old." So, moving on from the live action stuff, this is something a lot of my friends seem to be interested in. Like, we go to HalCon every year here in
Hmm.
the fall, and there's a lot of cosplays for anime characters. It's actually what got me to watch Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, two great, great films. And you've done a lot of dubbing.
I have. Yeah.
Hmm. So do you find that doing voice dubbing, do you find that like there, because I've interviewed people who've done dubbing before. I've interviewed Kenny James, who's Bowser for Mario. He's done English dubbing. Laura Faye Smith, another Mario person, Rosalina. She was in Genshin Impact, Fire Emblem Fates. And I do talk to them about kind of like the differences between voice dubbing, how it's different from either traditional screen acting or traditional voice acting.
Mm.
What's it like for you?
It's a very unique skill for
Because
sure.
one thing I noticed when I watched Spirited Away, and another friend of this podcast is Bob Bergen, Porky Pig and Tweety for Looney Tunes, and he was the English voice of No Face. And one
Nice.
of the things I noticed with that, because I'm able to follow the voices, but because it's internationally done, it doesn't often match the way that the original actors did it.
Right, right. And that's a big part of the challenge is whether it's a little easier with animation. Um, I've done a lot of live action dubbing as well
Oh,
for um, TV shows and movies that were, originally filmed in, whatever the language was where they
I
were
didn't even know
shooting.
they
And
did
then
that. Wow.
oh, they do. There's a huge industry. Netflix went and bought everything from around the world. Some really good TV shows from, anywhere you can imagine. In fact, my first, um, well, I did anime dubbing way back. This was one of my first voiceover jobs. Um, Yamamoto Yoko and Three by Three Eyes. This is probably the year you were born. Um, But so that was like that very high energy anime, and that's just exhausting because you're just like giving it everything you got every single line. And
It's a
then
lot like how Laura Faye described doing like being defeated in Mario, like
oh
when you get hit by an enemy.
yes, they call those effects. And dying in a
Thank
video
you.
game
Yeah.
is the most exhausting thing. I was in God of War 3. And I remember the different ways they were having me die. They were like, okay, so now you're like stuck. There's like a mill and there's like a wheel going around and you're stuck in the cog and you're getting ripped into pieces. Go. And you just start screaming this one. So that's exhausting. But the challenge of dubbing something is um you're already translating from another language, so you've got to make it make sense, and the line would mean the same thing that it meant in the original. So you have a translator, um, and then you have someone
Like
else.
putting it
Usually,
through
the
Google Translate in every language imaginable. I don't know if you've seen that video. They did that with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
oh weird,
And
oh weird.
it just meant every time they did, it was the same beat, but it was a different song.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, you have to make sure it still means the same thing. And there's, different idioms in different languages. And I find language so fascinating that I love that part. And then, the director has to figure out how to make it the right length of time, right? Saying nice to meet you in English takes a lot longer in Japanese. I'm making that up. But you know what I mean? Like certain sentiments take longer in certain languages than others.
Right,
So you have
yeah.
to figure out a way to make the time work, and then you have to figure out a way to make the mouth flaps work
Hmm.
so that it doesn't look like you remember the old like kung fu movies where they
I was
would
thinking
say
of
a
Speed
line.
Racer.
Yes, Speed Racer, same thing. And then, the mouth would move and the line would be afterwards or,
This is a very
so,
complicating job. Haha.
right. So, so yeah, it's really, I find it a really fun puzzle to put together. And you really do get to work collaboratively with the director. I work with this awesome director. Her name is Carrie Kiernan. She does a ton of dubbing for TV shows mostly. And because you're sitting there and you're like, this isn't working. What's another word for bubblegum or whatever? And so it's really, I love it. It's a lot of fun. And then of course, with Final Fantasy, all of that obviously was in Japanese to begin with, and so it's the same kind of process. Um, but like I say, when it's not live action, it's a little bit easier because you're matching the mouth flaps, but you don't necessarily have to match the face. When you're matching an actress who's already acted this scene, you can't have someone who's like sobbing or screaming or pleading, and you're just standing there in the booth, saying, "But I love you, don't leave me." You know what I mean? You have to really match the performance. So I love it. I find it challenging and
Especially that
really interesting.
monotone. I love you. Do not
I
leave me.
love that's
Yeah, I guess you really would have to make the English writers would have to make it a little bit longer so it does match. I never thought of that.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Hmm. And Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that
Oh,
show. I'm trying to get one of my really, really good friends to watch it. She introduced me to Shameless last night,
oh
and
yeah.
I said, and she's like, I don't know if you'd like the show. It's a little bit raunchy. I was like, since we've been kids, I've watched Family Guy.
Right.
I mean, and that's pretty harmless in and of itself. It's a fun, but no, Shameless is a funny show. And I said to her, if you like Shameless, you'll love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you watch the first episode of Shameless?
I don't know what I think she might be on the first season. I know that it's in the single digits of the first
Because
season that
I'm
she
I'm
showed
at the
me.
very end of the first episode of Shameless.
I wish I knew that. Because I think what came up on her Netflix was you are now on episode number 3, I think it was.
Yeah, how funny. Well,
Hi,
if you
Maddie.
want
We should have started
to
from the first one last night, just so you know.
start from that, yeah,
Come
exactly.
on, girl.
Go back to number one. It's just a little thing at the end. But yeah, It's Always Sunny was so much fun. That was a blast. And
Mhm.
I rarely get to work on shows that I actually watch.
How
Because
awkward
you
must
only,
that be? It's like when you end up working at a store in a mall that you always go to.
yeah, right. And I was such a fan of that show. And so, I got on set and there's the bar. So yeah, that was as you've seen the episode that I was in, right?
Maybe.
Where the blood gets vomited all over me.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to forget once you've seen it. But so it was a
It
particularly
sounds like a sitcom version of the movie Alien.
little bit, yeah. So it was it was a fun episode for everyone because they were, trying out this rig that was going to shoot blood at me, and everybody was all covered in plastic who were with the cameraman, and it was a very unique episode of television. I'll put it
Did
that way.
and working with Charlie Day, because like one of my friends
Oh,
was like, "Oh, that's one of the reasons I want to watch that show."
yeah, he's fantastic. He was so great, very funny. It was, he's one of those people that's really hard to work with and not laugh.
Oh,
He's just,
I hear hard to work
uh,
with. I'm like, "Ooh, spilling the tea, are
oh no,
we?"
no, 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 no. Everybody was great. Danny DeVito was great.
Yeah.
And Rob was there as a producer, but he wasn't in the scene with us. And I saw Caitlin, but she wasn't on set with us because she wasn't in the scene. But they were all, yeah, it was really fun.
Well, that's all I've got here. Is there anything you want to add to wrap up?
I don't think so. It was lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Happy 20 years of Hannah Montana
Thank you. And
to
to
all who
all,
celebrate.
including this guy right here, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Erin, thank you very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
I'll see you in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, you will. Absolutely.
Yeah, we for our listeners, we discovered that we have some connections in where I'm from. So
Those Nova Scotian connections. Yes.
yeah, good old Maritimers.
Love it.
So to our listeners, yes, happy 20th anniversary to Hannah Montana for all those who celebrate and for all those who are watching that retrospective. I hope that some of my episodes are some of your favorite episodes. It's really not a countdown. Like the way I do it, like, and I did the same with Raven and with Wizards of Waverly Place. I just thought, okay, what lines were really, really funny in those episodes? And of course, with Miss Kunkle, I think of, I will not allow cheating in my class when she catches her dancing. And she's like, oh, no, just studying. All right, we'll study without all this. But hopefully, some of my favorite episodes are some of your favorite episodes. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Episode number 125. Jim Conroy told me that 125, and for our listeners who don't know, Jim Conroy was a previous guest. He told me that 125 is a big number. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like 123 is a big number. Like I said, it's a big show for a lot of us. So I will see you next time. Peace out.
Bye.